Good day, classmates. Good day, Doc. I am Christine May Moralde, and I will be presenting the first half of Chapter 7 with the topic Internet, Wireless Technology, and Telecommunications. Telecommunications and networking in today's business world. Modernization and advancement in technology have greatly improved our lives in any aspect. We understand that communication is one of the most important factors in business. It is significant that our business world adapt with advancement of technology to operate well and improve the network within the industry. In today's business world, it is totally difficult to establish communication without using the technology. We use cell phones, computers, laptops, and other devices, then we connect it to the internet or mobile data, then news and messages will pop out in an instant. This way, we are getting connected and updated to the online world. We can now send emails in a snap, conduct a video conference without hassle, and share reports to others. We must admit that without this modern technology, our business world will not be this competitive. It is definitely essential these days that we connect well with our workmates, clients, or staff. Great thanks to the social media, to the online platforms and applications that all of these can be done in just a simple tap. Telecommunication simply involves sharing information over a distance, which has made globalization and business possible. Networking means forging connections with other business people and clients in order to maximize your opportunities for growth. Every small business should take advantage of emerging networking opportunities that use telecommunication to share its message with broader audience. So before the emergence of advanced technology, businesses utilizes only two kinds of networks, and these are the telephone network and computer network. Sa telephone network, focus tayo sa transmission ng voice to support ang communication. Itong telephone network, it allows telephone calls between two or more parties, while computer network naman is the one responsible for the transmission and management of data and online resources. Then here comes the introduction of networks in the 20th century. So point na to, the two networks I have discussed with the previous slide emerged into unified digital networks, and they are now utilizing common internet-based protocols and equipment. Now we can have exchange of data sa phone, which dati pang call and text lang. Ngayon, we can research and do other stuff sa phone. Yung nagiging discretion na lang natin ngayon is kung ano ang easier at handy gamitin. So, dati, nakakapanood lang tayo ng movie sa CD. Ngayon, we can watch directly sa link using internet. Lahat na ng audios, videos can be played with the use of internet, and everything now na-access na natin sa phone and dependent na sila sa internet. Hindi na sila magra-run if walang internet or hindi connected sa mobile data. Also, mas mabilis na yung transmission of data nowadays. Isang click mo lang ng enter, may result na, unlike dati, we are still using broadband kit na niloadan pa. Then we will wait midnight para mabilis yung sagap ng net, tapos magugulat na lang tayo after ilang minutes, hindi na siya maglo-load kasi ubos na pala yung load. Now, sa 100 pesos na load, we can use it na for almost a week of data. As you can see sa mga pictures, dati we use pocket Wi-Fi pa and netbook. Ngayon we have wired internet connections na or mobile data. May mga gumagamit pa naman ngayon ng pocket Wi-Fi, pero tayo as users, we prefer to use our phones kasi wala nang hassle. We just have to tap the mobile data icon, then connected na tayo sa online network. Computer network is used when two or more employee or device are needed to be connected in the same office, while a network is made from two or more connected computers. Communication network is a network set up by connecting two or more computers and other supporting hardware devices through communication channels. Network operating system is a computer operating system that facilitates to connect and communicate various autonomous computers over a network. An autonomous computer is an independent computer that has its own local memory, hardware, and operating system. It is self-capable to perform operations and processing for a single user. They can either run the same or different operating system. A server computer is a computer connected to a network that runs services to meet the needs of other computers, known as client. Dito, they use Windows, which is common sa atin, na network operating system, and also Linux and Novel na commonly used by ITs and programmers. So now we have three different networking devices, which are the hub, switch, and router. First on the list is the hub. It is a networking device that operates on the physical layer or the first layer of the OSI model or Open Systems Interconnection Model that sends the data packets to all the connected devices. So sa madaling sabi, may isang server na connected sa hub, then yung hub may 5 PCs na connected. When the server sends data, it will be replicated among the 5 PCs connected sa network. And any other users cannot send data to specific PC, thus creating a lot of traffic or the amount of data moving across a computer network at any given time. So second on the list is the switch that operates in data link layer or the second layer in the OSI model. If hub is a broadcast device that sends data from one PC to all PC connected, switch is a multicast device which can send data to our particular PC you want. So may server na connected sa switch tapos connected ulit sa 5 PCs. So pag PC1 lang need ng data, the server can send the data only to PC1. Kahit may iba pang connected and other PCs are connected sa network can exchange data to specific PC as well. For example, PC5 needs to send data to PC3 only other PCs will not receive the data. It means lesser traffic sa network. Last is the router that works under the network layer or the third layer of OSI model that basically connects two or more different networks. To sum it up, hub and switch are networking devices to connect PC or any device on the same network, while the router is a device that connects multiple networks. The corporate network infrastructure comprises all components that enable network communication, operations and management, and connectivity of an enterprise network. And as company expands, hundreds of small local area networks can be gathered together and connected, thus creating corporate-wide network infrastructure. Tiny local areas are connected to other local area networks and company-wide corporate networks to form the network infrastructure for large enterprises. Due to innovations, large companies use every resources they can to improve their experience in exchanging data through network. This includes telephone network, computer networks, data networks, wireless internet, video conferencing system, and servers. Now we have the key digital networking technologies like the internet, the client-server computing, packet switching, and the development of communication standards transmission control protocol or internet protocol, which is the TCPIP. This model shows TCP/IP connect networks and computers. Client-server computing is a relationship in which one program, the client, requests a service or resource from another program, the server, by means of internet. Processing power is also known as CPU in our computers or cell phones used to manipulate the data. So packet switching is a mode of data transmission which messages are broken down into packets which are sent independently over whatever. Okay. Packet switching is a mode of data transmission which messages are broken down into packets which are sent independently over whatever route is optimum for each packet and reassembled at the destination. These packets allow faster and more efficient data transfer. So aside from data, packets also contains information for addressing the packet to the appropriate address and checking for transmission problems. By means of routers, packets are sent through numerous communication routes with, with each packet going on its own. Data packets travel through networks and pathways after leaving one source before being reassembled at either destinations into original message. So the process is data, then networks, then pathways, then it leaves source and reassembled at destinations, then the original message. The TCP/IP connectivity is commonly used by everyone. Transmission control protocol is used to create connection between computers while internet protocol is used to deliver data in packets. comprise packet deconstructing and reassembling during transmission. In this slide, we can see the four-layer Department of Defense for TCPIP model. First is the application layer defines TCPIP application protocols and how host programs interface with transport layer services to use the network. Best example is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, that it used to transfer web page files. Transport layer permit devices on the source and destination hosts to carry on a communication and also defines the level of service and status of the connection used when transporting data. Internet layer is responsible for addressing, routing, and packaging data packets called IP datagrams. Then last, the network access layer defines details of how data is physically sent through the network, including how bits are electrically or optically signaled by hardware devices that interface directly with a network medium. So ayan, this is the Transmission Control Protocol or the TCP/IP reference model. In communication network, we also use signals, analog or digital, which were electrical or electromagnetic current that were used for carrying data from one device or network to another. The picture shows how computer transmit digital signals that is converted by a modem or modulator-demodulator into analog signals that may transmit via analog media such as telephone lines, cable lines, and wireless media. Okay, so let's now discuss the types of networks based on the area of coverage. First on our list is the local area network, or LAN, that extends up to 500 meters, commonly used in an office or floor of a building. Then next is the campus area network, or CAN, that extends up to 1,000 meters, used in college campus or corporate facility. Third is the metropolitan area network, or MAN, that covers a city or metropolitan area. And last on our list is the wide area network, or WAN, that covers regional, transcontinental, or global areas. So LAN is used to connect other networks connected to the internet in long distance wide area. This router links the LAN to other networks to have their different networks connected to share peripheral devices and exchange data directly. One connects large geographic regions, states, continents, or the entire world and can be connected through leased lines, satellites, or open networks. While MAN is the network connects a city and its major suburbs to the rest of the metropolitan area. It has smaller area coverage than WAN but larger coverage than LAN. Transmission media and transmission speed. Now let's take a look at the two types of transmission media, which are guided with the use of wires or cables and unguided or wireless that uses free space. To understand the relation of transmission speed and bandwidth, the speed refers to the maximum rate you can transmit data from a source to the destination system, while bandwidth is the maximum amount of data your connection can handle per second. The global internet is the entire internet connecting all countries, commonly used in most populations in the world and used as vital tool for companies and individuals. The internet is a globally connected network system facilitating worldwide communication and access to data resources through a vast collection of private, public, business, academic, and government networks. Internet addressing and architecture. IP address is a unique numerical identifier for every device or network that connects to the internet, composed of 32-bit number represented by 4 strings of digits from 0 to 255 separated by periods. For example, I visit this www.microsoft.com website using a computer. I will have my specific IP address on my device, and the packets are transferred from one client going to the network server, and we assemble the data I requested to my specific device, not going to anyone's device since I have my own IP address. It's like an address where the data must go. DNS or domain name system is simply the equivalent name for a specific IP address when linked to the internet because it's hard to memorize numbers when surfing the internet. The English-sounding name that corresponds to each computer's individual 32-bit IP address when linked to the internet is called DNS. So these are the common domain name system. So ito naman yung most popular domain names. Like number one, .com, commercial organizations or businesses, .edu, educational institutions, .gov, US government agencies, .mil, US military, .net, network computers, .org, nonprofit organizations and foundations, .biz, business firms, .info, information providers. Internet owners are responsible for paying for its own networks and local internet connection services, with a portion going to the owners of a long-distance internet lines. As part of rapid increase in population is also the increase of internet users, and we will run out of IP address to use. That's why IPv6 was introduced as a new version of an IP addressing scheme that uses 128-bit address format and now includes letters. For fast network connectivity, Internet 2 was also created with promising speed of 10 Gbps for users. So, Internet services and communication tools uses Internet for client-server model. And again, client serves as the device used to request data, server to respond, and Internet used for two-way medium, and web browser software installed on computer or devices that grants access to websites. So when a user requests a web page from a particular website, the browser retrieves its files from a web server and then displays the page on the user screen. The major internet services are as follows. Email, where parties can send messages and files, chatting and instant messaging of interactive conversation, news groups or discussion groups on electronic bulletin boards, file transfer protocol, FTP, sending files from computer to computer, World Wide Web, or the links we use to retrieve, format, and display information, including text, audio, graphics, and video. The voice over IP is simply voice call using the internet, and it uses packet switching to provide voice data in digital form, thus eliminating high fees by local and long-distance telephone networks. By looking at the picture on this slide, we can see a good example of how voice call is processed over the internet. Message being sent, divided into packets, passes through the internet, received and fixed by gateway, then properly reassemble the message to understand it by the recipient. The Unified Communications is an umbrella term for the integration of multiple enterprise communication tools such as voice calling, video conferencing, instant messaging, email, content sharing, and other else into a single streamlined interface with the goal of improving user experience and productivity. Now, for the VPN, that stands for Virtual Private Network and describes the opportunity to establish a protected network connection when using public networks. VPNs encrypt the internet traffic and disguise the device online identity. This makes it more difficult for third parties to track the device's activities online and steal data. So that would be the end of my report. Thank you for listening, and God bless everyone.